Hi, I have here a Singer 368 machine, and I just want to give a couple of quick tips because these are stuff that took me a while to figure out. It's pretty difficult to find information online, and I just wanted to put it out there. It's probably going to be useful. So the first thing is getting the plastics off, which is actually not so simple. Over here you have the feed wheel. This thing gets pulled off. And then you have a couple more screws down there. The other thing is that over here you have the tension, the string tension doohickey, and that thing goes through the plastic as well. And you might not know that in order to get this one off of the machine, which you have to do, the screw is right there from the top. So you have to get access from the top. I'm kind of 100% positive that the first thing is that one of the first things is that you remove the top cover, and then you must remove this set screw, or just undo it a little bit so you can pull this unit out. The other thing I want to talk about is the various eccentric shafts that are around the machine. So you will find tons of videos about how to set the shuttle and how to adjust the shuttle, because basically when the needle is at its lowest point or just after its lowest point, that's when the hook needs to come and pick up the string from the side, from the right side. So on this machine, see this mark right there? Let me show you both marks actually. So so I found out that that's where it needs to go. That's how you set it up. You set it up with I mean the height of the needle. How low does it go? That's from here, and you want to bring the mechanism to its lowest point. And when it's at its lowest point, then you want to see that. The other thing, obviously, it's not a problem to set up the how much you. It's not a problem to rotate and lock the shuttle from under the machine, from here. But here's what took me a long time to figure out. You can also change with the needle if you need to take it forward, backwards, left or right a little bit. Then there's a way to do it. So up here, that's not a screw. That's a shaft that goes through over here and then into this part. That part, let me just move it a little bit. Yeah. So as you're turning, if you take a flathead screwdriver and you're turning this shaft from here, as I said, this is eccentric in this part inside of this of the part here. So you're actually moving the shaft, and as you're moving the shaft left or right, forwards and backwards, you're moving the needle to the other way, and that's important because okay, so I removed some parts from the bottom string mechanism just to show you. That's sorry. Okay, so here's the I don't know, the bit that needs to take the string, but it's very important that the needle, as it goes down, okay, so see if you can see that. It's a little bit difficult. Okay, so the needle has to, see, I can't flex the needle backwards right now. I can probably very easily flex it forward a little bit. So so the needle actually touches the lower portion of the shuttle here on the bottom, and initially I had an issue because the needle wasn't touching it. It had a little bit of a distance, like a 0.5 millimeter or so. So and then whatever I did with the shuttle, trying to control the timing of the teeth that takes the string over, I couldn't get it to work properly. Eventually I found out that the adjustments that I was missing all along was up here. As I said before, I just needed to move the needle a bit backwards. So in order to change it and to be able to rotate this part, you need to undo this set screw. Now, the reason why I needed to go so deep into the machine was because I needed to replace these two plastic wheels. This one was metallic. Actually, both of them were metallic, but they broke. I mean, one of them broke, and I needed to replace both of them to plastic. And replacing the lower so replacing the gear that's on the bottom there, it's possible to do it without taking the machine apart, but in order to change this one to plastic as well, that's a lot more difficult, because you do have to take the entire assembly apart. So you have to remove all the levers, and then you have to remove everything that goes pretty much here in the front. The weight stays on the shaft. What you can take apart is the back wheel, and in order to do that, you need to just hold it with two hands. This one goes one way, this one goes the other way, and then you can remove the entire assembly here, the hand wheel. And that obviously takes a lot of work, and then you get to pull out the main horizontal shaft in order to change the gear. But after you've done that, you're going to lose all the, I mean, without even knowing that this is an important adjustment, you're going to lose all the adjustment on the machine. So that was important. The other thing that was important and surprising, let me just quickly show you, because you might not have the exact same machine, or you just want to know. We'll see. So I'm just moving this bit here in order to show you that this is actually what's controlling whether you're sewing to the left or to the right. So it's this lever that gets pushed to the left, and that spring is what pulls this lever backwards into friction with that lever over there. And so, well, you know what, first let me say that lever, that's the end of the same spring, and that lever and this set screw is the other way, or it's the other adjustment that you have in order to decide or set or adjust how much to the left or to the right you want the needle to move in the range. So one adjustment is this eccentric shaft, and after you've finished with it and it looks and you're sure that the needle is properly touching the rear of the shuttle, that's when you can set up the other adjustment here. And as you do that, you're going to want to take the needle and sew to the left and to the right, and see that it's going through the presser foot and through the needle plate, which should be down there, properly. But once you've finished with that, you also have this assembly that what it does is you know, all the special stitching like zigzag and stuff like that. So you actually have two modes, and the black disc is something that you can replace. It's called a fashion disc, and you can actually still find replacement parts for it to get different type of stitches. But the one underneath it, that's always there, and that's for basic zigzag pattern. That's how you select them, and now it's on the basic zigzag pattern. And then I did all of that, and I found out that with the zigzag pattern, the needle wasn't working in the proper range. So let me just put it on zigzag. Okay, and right now it's going well to the left and then well to the right, and now that's working properly. What I was again surprised to find out is that this entire shaft, well, first it's held, you need to there's a set screw down there, and that's what you need to undo in order to pick this up and remove it. It's not about this screw. This screw is basically only to change the fashion discs. And once you pull it out, you'll notice, well, it took me a while, that this shaft that is also eccentric. And then as you're placing it back in, you're deciding how well the worm gear is going to align, is going to mesh with the other gear. But that's not a big deal. The other big deal though is that you can make the entire axle, this axle, move either backwards or front. And as you do, that actually changes again the needle and how much it goes either left or right, because you're basically pushing this lever. Let me see if I can push it. Yep. So you're pushing this lever left or right, and that's what's eventually moving. Sorry. That's what's eventually moving the needle left and right. So what I was trying to say is that the first thing you do is you're not messing around. You have the machine on straight stitch. You see here, this is what each of the levers do. So the left lever to the left, that means I'm not using zigzag pattern, I'm just using straight stitching. This one is to the left. And then I can just move it left and right. And after I finish setting it up straight and in the middle, and it's working well and it's sewing well, and the needle is not facing too much to the front, it has to be facing to the back and actually just rubbing against the bottom of the shuttle, then you also have to set up this wheel properly, and that means taking it out, maybe adjusting it with a couple of to a couple of degrees, just because it's an eccentric shape inside, and then putting it back in. You can redo or eventually redo the set screw, and then see if it's moving left and right properly, or maybe it's outside of its range. Some smaller bits that I should probably eventually put on the video. This is quite interesting. This is obviously to take the presser foot off fabric. And the thing I wanted to show is that this also releases the tension on the string, because the string's supposed to go here in the middle. It's like a clutch assembly. It is clutching the string, and then you're releasing the pressure off the clutch. And the way it works is that there you go, that lever over there, it's just stuck inside, and actually I didn't have to touch it at all, but it's easy to forget about, so I wanted to show it, at least to myself, for the next time. And the other things that you have down here on the bottom side, there's not so much going on, but you might not notice that in here it's not just a screw that goes through. This one is not just a screw that goes through. It's actually, again, an eccentric shape. So you undo the nut here, and then as you rotate the screw, this part here is going to go around in little circles. So this is an adjustment screw, that one as well. One of them, this one is for, let me just rotate the handle and remember. So yeah, it's just too difficult to show, and this is not the important bit. Both of them are to set up your feed. So it's, oh man, so the feed, the part on the bottom that goes down and then up and then takes the fabric and goes down again, so you can adjust how high does it go, or how much forwards and backwards does it go with the adjustments on the bottom. Really, this machine deserves a very good video to just talk about all the different features and how everything works, but there's a lot of information about sewing machines online, and that was just information that I was missing trying to work on this machine. I wish anyone had told me that before. That would have been a lot of help in my long way of repairing this machine.